There was this lady who had an incontinent Rottweiler in a building, and I'm telling you, it was stomach churning. Like, and then you would tell her to clean it, and she would pour bleach on it. So then it was stomach churning, and your eyes would burn from the bleach. Like, and I go there and I would start like dry heaving because the smell is so bad. We did this garnishment hearing on this real deadbeat. His wife worked at the hospital, and he's a contractor, so there was no need for him to default. And he really mistreated the owner in like, I'm going to call it like a religious abuse kind of way, where he's like, yeah, you know, we're the same culture, you know, like, don't throw me out, like, you know, God wants you to keep me as a deadbeat in your house kind of thing,
Yeah,
you
God
know?
generally wants deadbeats to screw landlords.
Yeah.
That seems to be the
I've heard that
general
before, so it must be true.
consensus. Yeah.
So we got to the point where we'd given him so many notices of garnishment hearing that he was going to be held in contempt of court and be sent to jail.
Oh, wow. I've never been threatened to be held in contempt of court. Have you, TK?
Well, because you show
No
up,
comment.
right?
No
So
comment.
because you show
That's why they threaten to hold me in contempt, because they show up. But that's a whole other show for a whole other channel. So nowadays, though, you alluded to it, but the accounts must get fairly deep the way things are currently not working at the moment, right?
yeah, absolutely. Like 35, 40K.
And that's
Arrears.
before you get
That's crazy.
your hearing. It
How
gets
many
to
small
that number?
landlords can afford $30,000 to $40,000 in arrears and carrying the property and all that? Like, that was not part of the plan.
Most people
It's
don't
the
see it.
magical money tree.
What about cash for keys right now? What do you see?
Okay, so I want to talk about this a lot, and I'm very pragmatic because I've been doing this a long time, and I'm a property manager, so cash for keys has always been on the table. And like, I'm not a fan of rewarding bad behavior, right? So like, I've never, like, how can I say, intentionally like done cash for keys deal unless there was absolutely no choice. So I'll give you an example. This goes back like way when I started property management. There was this lady who had an incontinent Rottweiler in a building, and I'm telling you, it was stomach churning. Like, and then you would tell her to clean it, and she would pour bleach on it. So then it was stomach churning, and your eyes would burn from the bleach. Like, it was a triplex on Maplewood Avenue, and like the other tenants moved out. So I had just started with this property management gig, and they're like, oh, go see your new property. And I go there and I start like dry heaving because the smell is so bad. And like my prospective tenants are also like holding their nose. It was so horrible. So the problem is, and that was what the paralegal at the time said, like, how do you prove a smell? Okay. So you go to the landlord and tenant board and you say, my tenant smells real bad. And your tenants, the other tenants vacated. So how do you prove that they vacated because of the smell? And so you're in this situation where you can't, like you just can't prove it, right? So there you go. So you have to have recourse to other methods of convincing tenants to leave, and that's cash for keys, right? So that particular tenant was given $5,000 and moved out the next month, and we had to like gut the basement where she was living, and we re-rented the place, and that was that, right? So I mean, is cash for keys terrible? Like, you have to understand, the landlord and tenant board is a civil court, right? So like, if to evict a tenant, but you want them to move, you have to pay them to move. Like, what? I mean, they're not, the tenants aren't making the stupid laws. And I'm going to give you like an example of that. Like, this one just happened like I don't know, like 2-3 days ago. So the tenant, the new landlord, like, it's an offer of purchase and sale. The new landlord's a corp. Okay. Corps can't give N12s. That's it.
What's an
You're done. So
N12?
you
What's an N12?
the that's the
Move in for your own personal use.
yeah, personal use or buyer's
Oh,
agreement,
got it.
right?
Renoviction, N12 is a
No,
renoviction?
No,
that's
that's a
N13.
renoviction is N13.
Hmm.
But we never had that many of those. I
Oh,
mean, there was a lot of press about it, but really there's like less than 200 in all of
Those are hard to
Ontario.
do.
right.
Yeah.
No, because everybody's niece is moving into the place.
But
Or
yeah, exactly.
sister,
But the
right?
N12 applications are up like 400%. Like it's a crazy, like 80% of the hearings are N12s, right? So they're concerned. That's why the government's trying to like get
Concerned.
involved. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Like landlords are stuck between a rock and a rock, you know? Like, and they're not like easy rocks because like their mortgage, let's say it used to be 4,000 and they were collecting for, 3,000. Now their mortgage is like 7,000 and they're still collecting the same amount.
If they're
And they want to
collecting.
get rid of the place. Like, what's in it for them? Like they don't have to subsidize other people's housing. So, they want to sell the place, or they just don't want to, like, essentially, most of the time, they kind of want to sell the place. And, they just want to sell it, but they need to, like, fix it up before they sell it so they can get the maximum dollar in, this soft market. I mean, March had the least sales of any March since I don't know when. So, I mean, that's the reality, in spite of the fact that you see it plastered everywhere that, we're getting bidding wars and stuff. If there's less sales, I don't care how many stupid people are overbidding. That doesn't really change the volume, does it? I mean, so,
It's
I mean,
it seems like the incentive wasn't really there to be a landlord before, and now it seems like the incentives are getting worse instead of better. What's going to happen here when the incentives to build more are going in the toilet and the incentives for smaller landlords disappear off the face of the earth?
Rent
What is
inflation, right? Like
more rent inflation?
what's the rental rates right now, Rachel? Like what's
well, okay, I'll be honest with you. So I have two brand new condos for rent downtown, and we're going to talk about this too, because there's two parts to this. So the first part is the market's soft. I mean, like, actually, I had a showing this morning. I had two showings scheduled for a place on Jarvis that just came open. They didn't confirm. I had like maybe 10 inquiries. I responded to all of them. Like, and then I have another place on Portland, brand new building. Again, same thing. I have a showing this afternoon at 3. That place has been on the market for 4 or 5 months. And every place in the building's been on the market for 4 or 5 months. So, like, for me, and I mean, like, I have one famous guy on Twitter who continues coming back and mocking me for saying that the rental market is soft, right? But that's the reality of what I see. Like, when people are like inquiring and making appointments and not showing up, I mean, like, what am I supposed to think about
they got other
that?
options? Hey guys, thanks for watching our clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.